Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Larson, and I am a counselor at Free Counseling Society Canada. Today, I want to talk to you about navigating relationships in a new cultural context. If you are studying in Canada and grew up in another country or culture, you may notice that relationships here feel different. They may feel confusing, uncomfortable, or even lonely at times. This is very common. Research shows that many international and ESL students experience stress not because they are doing something wrong, but because they are learning new social rules at the same time they are learning academically. In this video, we will talk about why relationships can feel harder in a new culture, how culture affects communication, and how to navigate friendships, romantic relationships, and classroom or workplace relationships in Canada. My goal today is to help you feel more confident, informed, and supported in this journey. When we move to a new country, we do not only learn a new language, we also learn new unwritten social rules. These rules include how people show friendliness, how people say no, how close people stand to one another, and how quickly relationships develop. Psychological research shows that when these rules are unfamiliar, people often feel anxious, unsure, or disconnected. This is called cultural adjustment stress. It is important to know this. Struggling socially does not mean you lack social skills. It means your social skills were learned in a different cultural system. Adjustment takes time. Research also shows that strong relationships are linked to better mental health, better academic performance, and stronger language confidence. So, relationships are not just social, they help you support your success. One major difference between cultures is communication style. In Canada, communication is often more direct. People may say what they think or feel clearly and openly. In many cultures, communication is more indirect. Meaning is shared through tone, context, silence, or body language. For example, maybe might mean no. Silence may show respect. And saying yes may mean politeness, not agreement. Research shows that misunderstandings often happen when people interpret messages using their own cultural rules. So, a helpful strategy for this is gentle clarification. You can say something like, I want to make sure I understand, or can you explain what you mean? This shows respect, not weakness. Nonverbal communication is also cultural. This includes eye contact, facial expressions, personal space, and the use of silence. For example, in Canada, eye contact often shows interest or honesty. In other cultures, too much eye contact can feel disrespectful. Research shows that people often judge others quickly based on nonverbal behavior without realizing these behaviors are cultural. When something feels uncomfortable, try to pause and remind yourself, this may be a cultural difference, not a personal issue. So let's talk about friendships. Research with international students shows that friendships in Canada may feel more casual, less frequent, slower to deepen. And in Canada, people may be friendly, but still value independence and personal space. So this can feel confusing if you come from a culture where friends spend a lot of time together. Friendship involves frequently checking in, and emotional closeness tends to develop quickly. Research shows that cross-cultural friendships often take a bit more time, but can become very meaningful. Helpful strategies for developing these friendships include starting out with shared activities like clubs or study groups, keeping expectations flexible, and allowing friendships to develop more slowly than you're used to. Quality of friendships matter more than the quantity of friendships you have. Even one supportive connection can improve our well-being. Now let's talk about romantic relationships. Research shows that romantic expectations are strongly shaped by culture. In Canada, dating culture often emphasizes personal choice, equality between partners, and clear consent and boundaries. In some cultures, romantic relationships may involve strong family influence, different expectations around commitment, and less direct communication about feelings. And misunderstandings can happen when the expectations are not clearly discussed. So the research highlights the importance of open communication, explicit consent, and respecting boundaries, both of others and of yourself. It's okay to ask questions like, what does dating mean to you? Or what are your expectations in a relationship? Healthy relationships are based on mutual respect, not on assumptions. So next, let's look at classroom and workplace relationships. In Canada, educational and workplace culture often encourages participation, asking questions, and speaking directly with instructors or supervisors. In some cultures, this may feel uncomfortable or disrespectful. Research shows that international students sometimes hesitate to speak up because they fear being rude or making mistakes. It's important to know that in many Canadian classrooms and workplaces, asking questions is seen as engagement, not as disrespect. So some helpful strategies for this include preparing questions in advance, using email to communicate if speaking feels hard, and using respectful, clear language. You are allowed to advocate for yourself. Misunderstandings are normal in cross-cultural relationships. Research shows that successful relationships focus on repair, not on perfection. So a simple process that can be helpful is to first pause, second, reflect on the miscommunication, and third, ask for clarification, and fourth, repair if it's needed. So, for example, you could say, I may have misunderstood. I'm sorry if I caused confusion. Can we talk about this? Repair such as this helps to build trust. Sometimes relationship stress becomes overwhelming. Research shows that ongoing loneliness or anxiety can affect mental health and academic success. If you notice yourself feeling persistent loneliness, fear in social situations, high stress around communication, or anything in that category, support is available. Counseling is not only available for those in crisis, it can help you to build communication skills, understand cultural differences, and feel a stronger sense of belonging. So, learning how to relate in a new culture takes time. You are not failing when you try. You are learning. I invite you to choose one small relationship skill from this video to practice this week. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I wish you patience, confidence, and connection with others as you continue on your journey here.